Well, now joining us here on A's Cast, Nick Kurtz. Congratulations yesterday. I know we've been talking about it. A lot of people have mentioned it. You finally got that first home run at Dodger Stadium, historic Dodger Stadium. Obviously a big deal. How did it feel?
Yeah, it was great. It's great to finally get that one over with and finally move on to the next. Been thinking about it for a while, so especially to do it here was a pretty cool moment for me.
It doesn't normally happen like this, Nick, this quickly. 122 at bats in the minor leagues, and you find yourself up here with the big boys. What has it been like? And just tell us about it happening so quickly.
Yeah, I mean it's been crazy for sure. A year ago I was playing in college. It's been a little bit of an adjustment. Obviously, you're facing the best of the best every single day. The amount of games you're playing, the amount of bats you're having. Definitely learning from the guys here how to, play 162, how to keep your body the best you can, and how to make little minor adjustments from the pitching.
Talk about how important it was for you not to press, right? You're not worried about hitting the ball out of the ballpark. We saw an approach where you kept going the opposite way, taking what's given to you. Just talk about how important it's been for you not to press and just keep doing what you know how to do as a hitter.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I got up here, it's definitely was pressing a little bit, trying to do a little too much, trying to just make things happen instead of letting, the game come to me. There's sometimes you just need a few reset swings, whether that's a ground ball the other way, line drive the other way, fly ball the other way to kind of get you all, get your swing back where it needs to be. I think the last week or so I've been doing that, and we're getting closer and closer, and then finally starting to feel really good up there.
Normally coming to the big leagues as a rookie, it's kind of like come in here and be quiet and speak until you're spoken to. But the culture here is a lot different than a lot of places. How important has that been, having a young team, guys that you played with down in the minor leagues for a short period of time, as you would say, 122 at-bats? What's that been to mean to you for them to welcome the way that they have?
Yeah, it's been awesome. A lot of those guys were in my shoes not too long ago, know exactly what's going through my head, what I'm going through. So just those guys, and also there's guys who've kind of been there, done that, who can kind of help me along my career and help me along, being comfortable. They have my back. They notice things. They come to me, and it's just really easy to kind of just listen and follow and kind of do what I do.
As young as you are and as cool as you've made it seem, come on, it had to be pretty cool. You're just taking on the New York Yankees. Now you're at Dodger Stadium. You just got your first career home run. What's the last few games been like for you?
Yeah, it's been really cool. I don't really know another word to say it, but it's just like wow, these are the guys I grew up watching and wanted to become like these guys. Freddie Freeman's over there, and talking to Paul Goldschmidt and the other first basemen that I've looked up to, and I'm on the same field as them was a really cool moment.
One of the biggest challenge for a power guy, which you are, you were on pace to hit 48 homers had you stayed down in AAA for the entire year. But the one thing that normally comes last for power guys is ability to hit. You're kind of the opposite guy as you've gotten here at the major league level. I saw you have a couple of bad at-bats probably about a week and a half ago. Somewhere along the line, you made an adjustment and you start getting hits every game. Not selling out for power to become a hitter at a time when they want production, especially a team who has the motto of we hit the ball out of the ballpark. Tell me, where does that maturity come from you to be able to do that at this level?
Yeah, knowing when you're, you don't feel the best at the plate, your swings, not seeing the ball as well. The last thing I want to do is try to hit the ball farther. I mean, we talked about in college, you don't really hit your way out of, whether it's a slump or not seeing the ball that well. You see pitches, you go low and hard the other way, you find ways to get on base. And that's kind of what I was priding myself on with, was like, I might not be hitting for the power numbers, but I'm going to do what I can to work at bats. I'm going to get on first base, let this great lineup hit me in.
We always talk about the speed of the game changes, whether you get to the NFL or the NHL or the NBA. Same thing in baseball. Explain to us what you have seen, how the speed of the game, it just gets faster at the big league level.
Yeah, I think for the most part, it's just pitchers commanding the zone, knowing exactly what they want to do every single time. Whoever's up at the plate, they have a plan and, they execute it. I think that was probably the biggest thing, is that they're not going to miss as many times as guys in AAA and AA. They're not going to make as many bad pitches. So there's a small difference between, just swinging and also swinging at the right one. So trying to find a little gray area in there to kind of pick and choose which ones you want to get.
Townie has been asking for you since the team broke spring training. I have my way of finding
Nick
out.
knows we were down spring training. I'm like, I'm ready for you to make the club now.
I have my way of finding out how many people really liked you. And let me tell you, this whole organization probably saw you at one particular time. Even one top executive who's really respected in this game said he saw you hit a ball as far as any ball he had ever seen. And then there's another guy that has been very successful as a player himself, and he has one of the most advanced approaches that I've seen for a big guy. When you hear people talk about your game and being all around like the things that Townley has talked about, what do you think, and what do you think that's going to take Nick Kurtz to that level that everybody thinks going to get you there?
Yeah, I think it's just staying consistent in what I do every day. You know, they talk about being an all-around player. It's kind of, I don't want to be just a power guy. I want to kind of do it all. I want to play good defense. I want to run the bases well. I want to hit for average. I want to hit runs guys in. I want to be a guy that scores. You know, I think me wanting and striving to do all those things and then putting the work in each and every day and staying consistent with it will get me there one day.
You know, Jacob Wilson, another outstanding game yesterday at Dodger Stadium, his first career 2-run home run game. What he's doing, obviously, he's the favorite right now to win the Rookie of the Year. For you watching Jacob, how inspiring is he to you to make you want to be better and to get off to the start like he has gotten?
I mean, Jake, he's unbelievable. This man does not know how to get out. It's really fun to watch, and just being a friend of his, it's really cool being able to be in the dugout and just watch what he does and just finds a way to grind, put balls in place, finds holes, hits for power when he needs to in the right count. So watching him play is just, all right, that's where I want to get to. That's where I need to keep going. And there's always going to be another young guy out there who's keeping me honest and keeping me working.
If you had a message for young kids that are playing the game, one thing that I've noticed throughout my career as a scout, growing up as a kid, good hitters are unique. If you look at Jacob, if you look at yourself, your swings are different. And we're in an era where a lot of guys teach hitting, they try to change swings. And you as a big guy, I can only imagine how people would probably tell you needed to elevate or change your swing, which yours is unique. What message would you tell a young kid that just be yourself, learn how to be the best that you are in that swing, opposed to challenging the people that try to change you a little bit?
Yeah, my biggest thing is just be athletic. That's kind of what sports are about. Every single person kind of has a way that they want to swing, but it's really your swing. You got to be comfortable in what you do, and I think the best way to do that is just teach athleticism. When you're a kid, be athletic, play multiple sports, do everything you can, because each and everything is going to help you when you step in that box later on.
You know, big win last night against the Dodgers, a whooping 11-1. Talk about the confidence right now. You're over 500. We did the quarterly grades. A lot of people are grading you really high. Talk about the confidence that your ball club has right now in the clubhouse.
Yeah, we believe that we can win each and every day. So it's really fun to be in the locker room when that's going on. But we also think that we can, we've lost some games we shouldn't have lost. We can be better. So I think the little combination of those two things gonna keep us going.
Everything has been up for you. It hasn't been many downs, but all of us that have played games and played sports, there's always someone that we can call at night to, I had over 3. Who's that one person in your life that's the first call that you make when things probably are not going well?
Yeah, it's one of my coaches at Wake Forest, Matt Westinger. He's kind of the guy where, he brings me back down to earth when things are going really good, and when things are going really bad, he makes sure I know that I'm not as bad as I think I am. There's a saying in baseball: you're not as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. So he makes sure to remind me of each of those things.
Nick, great stuff, man. We always appreciate it. Keep it rolling, and we'll see you back in Sacramento.
Thanks, guys.